Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm joined by this man again, Jamie Burgoyne, to preview the match Liverpool versus Manchester United. 4 o'clock kick-off at Anfield, the battle of two English powerhouses of English football, the battle from the East Lancs Road, Jamie.
Well, there's Liverpool. Who's the other one?
Manchester United, historically the two most successful clubs in England.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think since the Alex Ferguson era, but hey ho, we'll roll with it. It's going to be a nice, interesting match, a nice old-fashioned derby. Yeah.
Lots at stake in this game, Jamie, for both sides. Obviously, you know the rivalry, you know the history between the two cities. It's worked its way through from the docking yards, then through the industry, the wool industry, and now into football, where Liverpool and Manchester United battle for trophy after trophy every season.
American
they want
ownership
the record.
Versus American ownership.
Liverpool were champions of England throughout the 80s and 70s and 80s. They had the record of the most trophies, and then Manchester United in the 90s and 2000s have come back and taken that record and knocked Liverpool off their pitch. Liverpool want to get back to where they belong, Jamie.
Absolutely. What a year to do it as well. Top of the table as it stands. Salah's in great scoring form. Mane admittedly injured, but they've got a wealth of replacements. You've got Shaqiri, even Sturridge if you want to stick him out wide if he decides it's his day. Bobby Firmino's in great form, and you've got a rock solid defence at the back as well. It's a perfect squad, I think, for Liverpool this year.
You look at Manchester United to come off the back of a 4-1 home win against Fulham. We touched on the Fulham game in the Manchester United and Valencia preview, but let's talk about them again. Obviously, fantastic result in the league to hopefully pull a Manchester United fan's point of view, not myself's point of view, kickstart their season.
I mean, yeah, again, it was, I wouldn't say it was exactly, Chelsea away or Arsenal away, but it was just Fulham at home. Again, they can get, rely on a really slow Serbian to get all their creative outlet. But it seems to be working. It's a good 4-1 win. Some great goals for United. Hopefully that should give them some momentum to carry on to it through, ignoring the break for the European fixtures in the middle. Depending on how that result goes against Valencia, maybe might decide that tie.
So we're going to stick with Manchester United, and we're going to talk about key players. Pogba, Martial if he's fit, and you've got obviously Lukaku up front. Those three players, how much trouble can they cause for Liverpool?
Depends which Lukaku we're talking about here. If we're talking the Lukaku who was solid for West Brom and Everton, or are we talking Lionel John Lewis-esque Lukaku who barely gets a goal? If Lukaku's in his day, he can be a really dangerous threat. But more recently, it's kind of not been that way. But he did find his scoring form back against Fulham. Of course, he's about out of favour with Mourinho, but with his if he wants to get his Man United career back on track, it's a good derby like this to fire himself back in contention. I'm sure for players like De Gea as well, even down to Chris Smalling or Ashley Young, Phil Jones. This is like the perfect game to get themselves back in the hearts of United fans.
Sticking with United, you mentioned De Gea and you mentioned Smalling, Jones, etc. The defensive problems they've had this season. Do you think that's down to the manager, or do you think it's down to the personnel available?
Partially both, I think. Phil Jones, I feel would struggle to get into on the the bottom Premier League sides, but you need an opportunity, and you do get a spark of brilliance. Speaking from my side, from Shrewsbury, we've got a defender called Luke Waterfall who's had iffy performances here and there, and then certain games he'll score 2 against Wimbledon away, but. It depends what sort of player comes out on the day, what sort of mood they're in. And of course, that is affected by Mourinho.
So we're going to go back to Liverpool now and look at Liverpool. They've got key players. You know the front three. I don't need to name them, but I will anyway. Salah, Mane, Firmino.
Origi.
Divock Origi scoring in the derby. Yes, we'll get onto that later. But you look at those three, and then you look at how Liverpool last season, they were shipping goals left, right and centre. They had to win games. They had to score goals to win games. They had to score more than they needed to. They had to go all out attack. This season, they've gone the other way. They're more defensive, but can score on the counter. They've shored up that defence. How big of a signing has Virgil van Dijk been for this side?
It's amazing. His first game when he in that third round FA Cup game against Everton, you could see by that goal. Admittedly, he fell into the hearts, and maybe the end of last season he was a pretty solid player, but wasn't 100% settled in. He's had the summer break to come back. He's properly a Liverpool player now. You know, he doesn't even, I don't even remember seeing him as a new player now. I just like, I look at that Liverpool squad and expect to see him. He partners so well with players like Joe Gomez. Admittedly, he's injured at the moment. But working with the best defender in the world, Lovren, potentially Matip as well, and alongside with Trent, you know, it's a great defensive start. And, you know, with a strong defence, it's more like Klopp's original gegenpressing sort of style.
And Alisson, Beckett in goal.
Absolutely, Alisson's an absolutely solid goalkeeper. Even when the Liverpool hammered Rome in the Champions League last season, you know, the saves he did make were absolutely solid and class and almost impossible. But, you know, bad defence led to him getting absolutely pelted in the Champions League. But, you know, he's at a club with an absolutely solid defence. As we just mentioned, Van Dijk and Lovren in front of him. You know, to get a shot on, and, you know, for him to even receive shots these days, it's quite a struggle.
Let's be controversial here and have a look and compare the two managers, Jurgen Klopp, Jose Mourinho.
Normal versus special.
You've got the normal one, as you just said. You've got the special one. You've got the happy personality.
You've got the
somber
miserable
personality.
Yeah.
Do you think the happy personality of Klopp is going to oversee a victory over the miserable personality of Jose Mourinho?
Just look at their league positions. You've got Mourinho, who's constantly, you know, being blasted in the media, whether it's a metaphor about how oversaturated the media is with the negativity. But, you know, Mourinho is making it a very miserable dressing room. He has done for, you know, since he's got in when it comes to bashing Luke Shaw and Rashford. But, you know, you look at Klopp, you got Mo Salah, you know, smiling all the time. You wouldn't get that if Mourinho was his manager. Yeah, I think, you know, Klopp's definitely got the edge over Mourinho in this.
Have you got the score prediction for this big game?
It's going to be a tight one, but I'm expecting goals. I'm thinking 3-2 to Liverpool.
I know I'm a Liverpool fan, slight bias here, but I'm going to go for 3-1 Liverpool, where I'm optimistic with Liverpool's performance in the last game against Bournemouth and Burnley, the way that they come from behind against Burnley in those circumstances with a weakened team. I think Liverpool got the momentum. Okay, United got the victory against Fulham, but before that they've been poor and lacklustre and they struggled away from home. I think it's going to be difficult with Mourinho likely to park the bus, as it were, but I think Liverpool got enough in their attacking sense with Salah, Mane, Firmino, because I expect Mane to play. We're playing a small part against Bournemouth last weekend, and Shaqiri for Liverpool to get the result and a 3-1 victory to keep them top of the table. Okay, so that was our preview of the big game, Liverpool versus Manchester United. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you all very soon.